to another EV road trip in the Kia Niro. The car is on 99% state of charge, charged up at home, and I'm on my way to pick up my grandma, and we are going to Canberra. You might remember if you watched my previous videos where I did a full lap of Australia, I had to skip Canberra on the final day, so my grandmother and I are going off to visit Canberra today. And rather than just being a bit boring and following the normal Hume Highway up to Canberra, taking very much the most direct way, well actually not the super direct way, but certainly the fastest way to drive there, we're actually going down across to Lakes Entrance, and we're going to go up through Mt Kosciuszko, Jindabyne and everything, and then across to Cooma and up into Canberra that way. So it should be interesting and a fair bit more scenic than the Hume Highway, and a fair bit of that area is places I've never actually been before. And the charging network will probably be a bit more interesting. I've had a look on PlugShare. In some ways it's actually quite good. There's a charger in almost every town, and the towns are reasonably close together, so there should be absolutely no concerns about range. But it's only typically one 50 kilowatt charger in each town, so it's actually not very good speeds, and if there's anyone else using it, we'll have to wait. My car can do up to 75 kilowatts, so it is getting a slower rate of charging. But we're not in a super rush or anything, and we're probably not doing 110 for most of it because it's probably slower, narrower, windy roads, and we're just sort of driving through. So I think the efficiency will be fairly good, and I don't think the charging will be any issue. We'll just sort of plug in at each town for a little bit and walk around the town, and it should be really good. Along the route we're going from here to Canberra, the only 75 kilowatt charger that we would realistically use is one in Traralgon, so that could give us better speeds, but my car will not charge faster than about 50 kilowatts if it's higher than around 55-60% state of charge. And leaving with a full charge now, by the time we get to Traralgon, it will really be at about that level where it will start to drop to 50 kilowatts anyway if we were to plug in, so we would probably never see much above 50 on that charger anyway. So I don't think we'll charge in Traralgon unless we just happen to want to stop there. I think we'll probably do the first charge in perhaps Lakes Entrance. Lakes Entrance is a fair bit of a stretch. It's 300 and something kilometers away, but entirely doable with a full charge, I would think. Although the road is wet this morning, I hadn't really accounted for that, so that might eat into the efficiency a bit, but hopefully it dries off, or hopefully it's just not so wet that it doesn't make too much of an impact. Or we might also go to Paynesville, where you can see Raymond Island and everything, so I'll see if my grandma wants to do that. We might consider it. It's 15 minutes off the highway each way, so it's like half an hour extra detour, but they do have a 50 kilowatt charger in Paynesville, so we could potentially do that as our first charging stop and have a look around there. But we'll see how we go. That's where we're at for now. It will really be 50 kilowatt chargers all the way to Canberra. And then on the way home from Canberra, we're planning to go across to the coast and follow the sort of southern New South Wales coast down around that way to get home. So still doing something more scenic and interesting rather than the Hume Highway. I have driven that road before. I know there's a few chargers that have good speeds, but it's also still a fair few 50 kilowatt chargers you have to use. So a bit better charging there, but not significantly. But anyway, as I say, I don't think it will factor in a huge amount. I think we'll be perfectly fine with the charging and won't really make much of an impact. This whole sort of trip was a bit last minute and rushed. I haven't planned very much at all. I was very busy with editing videos and stuff up until late last night really, and I've just sort of thrown some stuff in the car. We don't have anything booked or planned overly well other than the rough route we're going to take, but I'm thinking we're probably going to end up in maybe Corryong or something for the night, and then we want to have maybe about half a day's drive or a bit more tomorrow left to get into Canberra, and then we can spend the afternoon and the night in Canberra, then a bit of the next morning, and then we'll set off home again. So planning for it to take 4 days. And the odometer of the car is currently 98,927. So I haven't worked it out, but I would say we would definitely hit 100,000 on this trip, which will be a little bit exciting. Traffic lights.
Yep. Airports, terrace cafes, it's all happening.
Yeah. We're just coming into Traralgon. We're going to stop here for a coffee stop. The car doesn't need to charge at all yet. Still on 67%, so even if we plugged in we wouldn't get super good speeds, but since we're going to stop anyway, it makes more sense to plug it in and top it up more, always be charging.
EV charging there. It's got a big sign up.
At the Century Inn Hotel as EV slow charging, so that would be good if you wanted to stay there overnight. But we're going to the fast one. So there's a 75 kilowatt charger and a 50 kilowatt charger here, but because the car's so full, we would get the same speeds on either charger. And I think the 50 kilowatt one they're often slightly cheaper, the 50 kilowatt ones, so we might as well use that. And we're not taking up the faster one if someone else wanted to use it and was able to get faster speeds. And the 50 kilowatt one is, I think, slightly in a better location. And there we are. So I guess it's more intended to be charging while you're at the aquatic centre, but we can use it. One of the cables is, oh no, it's just blocked. Yeah, one of the cables is on the ground. Okay, and this is an EV charger with auto charge, so I should just be able to plug in and it will automatically start. Someone's left the Omeo down there, which is a bit rude. And successful. I might just pick this up. So this is the old one that you would use for a Nissan Leaf, or really not much else. Put that back where it should be. And
it all happening?
yep. Has it been dinging the whole time? It dings if you turn it off with the door left open or something. Yep, we're charging. All good. So we have an hour and 29 minutes before it would be full, but obviously we won't go until full. But we kind of have as long as we want here. Right. And then we'll continue on. Just been down the street at a bakery, and I haven't really checked what range we have or anything, but it doesn't really matter, it's not relevant. We were really just charging because we wanted to stop, not because we needed to. And we're still going to go on to, if you can hear me at all with this wind, we're still going to go on to Lake's entrance now, which we already had enough range to make it to, so perfectly fine. pretty cool outside. Is in cold and horrifically windy. We walked down the street to the Banjo's Bakery. If you've ever been to Tasmania, you've probably seen Banjo's plenty of times. They're a very common bakery down there, but there's almost none in Victoria or mainland Australia, frankly. But there's one in Traralgon, so if I'm here, I like to make a point of going there. I have to go this way, do I? And yeah, I left my grandma down there because it is a bit of a walk and she walks a bit slowly and it's kind of hard for her to walk. So I thought I'll go back and pick her up. But that top-up charge, while not very, not super time efficient because it was charging slower than we normally would want to charge. Because we wanted to stop anyway, if we were going to park at the bakery, it's actually quite time efficient because we've just gained a bunch of charge for basically no time at all. And we're up to 83%, which means we'll get to Lakes Entrance with plenty. We're probably going to have lunch in Lakes Entrance next street. So by the time we've had lunch, we'll be pretty fully charged again. So if you sort of keep... I have gone too far. Never mind me, I'm just driving all over the streets of Traralgon. So yeah, if you can just sort of keep it topped up while you're stopped anyway and never really get that low, getting lower charge usually means you get much faster charging speeds. So if you wanted to drive from point to point as just quickly as you can, that's the way to do it. Get quite low in the battery, but if you're just topping up all the time anyway, and stopping at different places, it means you're never really worried about charging at all, even though it is a bit slower. But if you are stopping at these places anyway, it's no slower. And then we will be on to Lakes Entrance. So we're not going to do Paintsville, we're just going to go on to Lakes Entrance, probably have lunch in Lakes Entrance, and then we'll start heading up inland through the mountains, which will be coming into Lakes Entrance now with roadworks, because of course. Is this where the lookout is on the other side of this?
I'm not certain, I forgot. Yeah, city lookout, 30 metres.
We're going to turn off at the lookout and then we'll go down into town for charging and lunch. It's 12:30. Yes, yeah. The car still has 200 kilometres of range. I think we could quite comfortably make it to the next charger actually, but we would like lunch. Very good. The view's looking very spectacular today. And now we're heading down to the charger. Unfortunately, the charger's only sort of on the very edge of town, but we'll see what we can find there. The car's still on 51%. 200 kilometres of range. We've had very good efficiency actually, 14.7.
It's been a very easy ride, hasn't it?
It has, yes. I think with the mostly doing 100 and just a lot of traffic everywhere and everything, going through all the towns, it's helped us have good efficiency. And then going up through the mountains this afternoon will probably be pretty good as well, although we're gaining a lot of elevation. We'll end up on Mt Kosciuszko by either late today, early tomorrow. So we might have a bit more consumption then, but we'll see how that goes. But that's a nice view.
Yeah.
I think there might be another lookout down here.
I was thinking, I've just got this vision of one that's on low.
Yeah.
Looks like he's coming to stop us, but...
I think, yes, he was waiting for the flow of traffic to end. He stopped now. Yes, that is a look out there, but it's all kind of... So anyway, the town is further ahead that way, but the charger is actually around here. Oh, it is at the visitor centre, so that's kind of fair enough. But I maybe would have preferred it to be in town a bit more. There is an Aldi.
We've got an Aldi.
And it's another EV charger that supports auto charge, so I still don't have to activate anything. Only 50 kilowatts though, but we're on 51%, so we wouldn't get more than 50 kilowatts on a better charger. Successful.
So what shall we do? We have to...
Yeah, I'm not sure if there's going to be all that much in walking distance. We might end up driving into town.
Right, so we just give it a bit of time.
Yeah, maybe. Getting 48 kilowatts, so that's about right. So there we go. Once again, we won't charge to 100. I'm not sure. Yeah, we might end up driving into town a bit more for lunch anyway. So I'm pretty sure we have enough charge to make it to the next town anyway, so we might really not stay here for very long at all. So there is another charger only 31 kilometres away, so whatever we get here, we get. It's not really, doesn't matter. So we've just eaten stuff we had in the car with us, and it's quite an okay setting at the information centre. There's sort of toilets across the street, but there was a queue for them, and there's a river and stuff. But there's sort of no food you can buy, and you're not really at the beach or anything. You're just sort of sitting over here. But that's fine. We're up to 68%. We didn't really need to charge anyway. We're going to move on to Bruthen. That one's another 50 kilowatt charger. That's only 29 minutes away. We don't really need to charge there either, but maybe we'll plug in and see if there's anything good for lunch, although we might not really need lunch. We'll at least do a toilet stop there now because I gave up because there was a queue. Anyway, we'll go unplug that. 68%. Stop that. 69% we made it to.
We're going on the Great Elf Library.
Yes, I think so. That sounds right. Bruthen. Okay. The journey into the mountains begins. I've never been up here.
I think I have once, but I think that's when everyone got sick.
Might be the shortest drive between charges I've ever done. We're now 3 minutes away from the town with the next charger, so probably just plug in, I guess, briefly for maybe a toilet stop. And I think we want to look for lunch at all.
If it's handy.
Yeah, we'll see if there's anything good around for lunch, or we might move on to the next town. And based on the efficiency we've had, we probably could have made it here from home without charging at all, but since we were stopping anyway, it was worth plugging in because we now have 255 kilometres of range still remaining. So a very brief charge here will get us a long way. And because we've just left Lake's entrance, we're presumably about sea level now, but from here on we should be getting quite a lot of uphill, gaining elevation a lot. So that might start to impact the efficiency a bit, but it will be slower and probably very winding roads. It's a very nice town.
So is it? Very impressed.
It's at the information centre again. Oh, this charger says 25 kilowatts on it, which is significantly lower than you would want, but we do have 63%, so we'll just plug it in while we're here, and whatever it gets, it gets. And it's another EV charger that supports auto charge. So we're going on a roll with those today. So it says 25 kilowatts. It said 25 kilowatts on both of them. Sometimes it says that though, and then it ramps up. But we'll see. Now it says 0 kilowatts on the Chatamo. I'm guessing that's just because I've plugged in there. Ooh, Chatamo's out of service now. But that's okay. It's ramping up on the CCS, which is the plug my car uses. And it's stuck on 25 kilowatts, so you're only going to charge at 25 kilowatts. So I am very glad we didn't just drive directly here from home, because we would have made it, but we wouldn't have had much left. And we would have been stuck with pretty terrible speeds for a while. But it's not the end of the world. We honestly still don't need to charge here. Thanks, Dashcam. We honestly don't need to charge here at all, so we'll just have a walk around town, go to the toilet, maybe find lunch, whatever extra power we get from here we get, and we'll move on to the next one, which is I think in Omeo. So according to PlugShare, clearly I haven't checked in a few days, 2 other people have confirmed that it's only 25 kilowatts at the moment, and it does say partially under repair on it. So yes, that should have been expected if I had actually looked it up. But that's fine. It's really a lovely town here. And we're going to do another hour now. Even with the terrible charging performance, because we've just got so much spare power, we're already up to 74%, so absolutely no reason to stay here with the low power. We were going to look for accommodation to book, but we'll do that in an hour and 15 minutes when we're at Omeo, where there's another charger that hopefully has full speed. So that one says it's not working at all. Oh, that one's... I guess normally it could do 25 kilowatts each. But if it's limited to 25 kilowatts, it's not going to split it to even half that. So I guess that's the logic of why it's out of service. Yeah, because now that's 25 kilowatts. Pull it out. It's interesting, that's a different plug. Different handle to the previous 2 I've used today. degree, and it is now 3:30 because we stopped to fly the drone a few times, and we are just coming into Omeo now. It's back down to 16 degrees. It was fairly like low 20s until very recently, but I guess being up in the mountains maybe it's cooler. And the efficiency has gone all the way up to 16 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers now 15.9. We're going downhill, so it has gotten a fair bit worse, mostly just recently up. It was still about as good up until fairly recently, but we're now at 670 meters of elevation, so we've gone up quite a lot, so that would explain it. The range is the lowest it's been for this trip so far now, down to 189 remaining, but still way more than we needed to get here. And we could probably make it to another charger beyond if we had to. We could probably make it to Corryong. Maybe we might be pushing it if we had to do that, but we'll go and plug in here anyway. They have a food works.
It's got fruit and vegetables in it. Oh, look, it's quite pretty.
Yes.
Oh, it's lovely down here. Beautiful post office, very old.
It all
Lovely
seems
old
quite
building.
old.
Oh, look.
Oh, we have a sign for EV charging. That's always good.
The coffee and bakehouse is closed.
Toilets and EV charging.
There's a bakery there, but that's closed as well.
And here's the charger. So it's an on-street one, like a lot of the Queensland electric highway ones. And this one is, I believe, on ChargeFox. So I'll have to actually tap card, but that's fine. It says 50 kilowatts, so we should be good. And tap the good old EV card. So we've charged at 3 EV chargers so far, and I haven't tapped the EV card on any of them because they haven't needed it. And now we're at a ChargeFox one that I have tapped the EV card on. But anyway, I'm not sure what company this is. Charging the Regions, I think it's some sort of government thing, I guess. But it runs through ChargeFox, so that is pretty good. And it looks like we'll get right up to 50 kilowatts. Because we actually kind of do need to charge now. We still have plenty of range, but I think to get anywhere else it would be good to have a top up. And that's it. And there's a very cute town just down there. On 47%, getting 48 kilowatts, 29 minutes to 80%, so it does actually slow down at about 70%, I think. On a 50 kilowatt charger, you can get full 50 kilowatt speeds to about 70%. So ideally we'd unplug by then or around then, but I don't really care too much. We'll just go for a walk around town. And I imagine by the time we're ready to leave, the car will just have plenty. So we'll just move on whenever we feel like it. We'll leave eventually.
It's all right, Joshua. It's only 4:20.
Yep. So it's 4:20. We've charged up to 86%, which we absolutely didn't need, but we had a walk around town. It's a very nice town, Omeo, and we have booked accommodation in, I call it Corryong. I think I'm saying that wrong based on the spelling. I think it's Corryong or something. No,
I think
no?
it's Corryong.
Corryong? Corryong, something like that. We're going to that town for tonight. It's about another 2 hours drive away, and it's 4:20 now, so that's about right. And it's a very slow, windy drive. There was absolutely no charging. We'd have to get to Thredbo to get to a accommodation with charging, and that's just sort of a bit unrealistic. Like, we could do it if we absolutely had to, but we're sort of rushing through some of the nice bits, and it's getting dark through very windy sections of road, so we'd rather not do that. And we've got plenty of charge now, and there's a charger in Corryong if we need it. We might not even use it, but we can definitely move on from here now. I need my card for this. There we go. EV auto charge does just make it all slightly easier. I don't think it's ticking down as fast as it should be. I think it's at an hour and 10 minutes, like half an hour ago.
I've been paying to scan myself. I'm not allowed to look till I've counted to 500 because I'm like seems to be standing still, and I can see it starting to sort of the darkness is coming in, but the clock's not sort of the milestones are going down.
Yeah.
Never mind. Just hang in there.
Nice.
It's all very nice.
Yeah.
It's just I don't fancy the night out here on the side of the road. Okay. So we've got 7. It's like an hour. Oh, we're doing well. 78 hours. Oh, dear. I didn't think you'd get it this soon, Joshua. Oh,
nice.
That's just wonderful.
Nothing's shaking. after a fairly crazy drive, we've made it to Corryong. It was spectacular scenery, but most of it was a dirt road, and a lot of the dirt road was almost not a road. Very rough, and very slow and very windy, and the estimated arrival time kept going up and up and up. It's now basically 7 o'clock, but we're finally coming into Corryong now. I'm glad we had plenty of charge. I'm not sure how the range has gone compared to how it was meant to be, but we've still got like 200 kilometres of charge, so it was good to know throughout all that drive there was never any real concern about that. We could probably make it to, like, I think Jindabyne is the next charger. I haven't checked, but I think we potentially could. But ideally, I think we'll top it up a bit tonight while we're having dinner or something. So for today, we've done 583 kilometres, which doesn't sound like all that much for the day, but we have been driving for 8 hours and 48 minutes. So it's just been very windy and slow for quite a lot of it. And we've averaged 15.7 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometres, which is really pretty good. Only sort of slightly above what I would normally see in sort of local driving. So that's quite good. And we got to, what was it, 1,300 metres of elevation on the dirt winding road. Yes, it's Corryong. Yeah, that's the pizza and takeaway. I think the charge is like just behind these shops somewhere. Anyway, I was saying, yes, we got to 1,300 metres high, and it got down to 8 degrees up there. It's 17 here though, so much more comfortable, and the town looks fairly sleepy. The IGA is shut. Yes, when we left Omeo, I said we'd be pushing it to get to the IGA. I think the IGA shut nearly an hour ago.
Oh, I see what's marked. Now we can see what's marked. Yes, it's meant
to have a mountain. Our room does not have a mountain view though.
That doesn't matter. We'll manage.
But it does have breakfast, which, yes, looks like it's Tupperware containers of cereal, but that's fine.
And there's reception. A pool.
Yes, there is a pool.
And there's a laundry.
There's reception.
I mean, a lovely night. There's a, what do you call it, a barbecue, so you could throw something on the barbecue.
We're all checked into the motel, and the charger is 3 minutes away. The motel room is really quite nice for what it is. It was only $135 for the night, and it has breakfast and a pool and very nice setting.
It is a lovely setting.
And the room itself is perfectly fine.
There's the breakfast room.
But we'll go get plugged in. It is 7:14 now, so we want to plug in and then immediately have dinner before everything closes. So hopefully there's something good in easy walking distance to the charger. I know the charger's sort of right in town here. I've used this one before.
I don't think it's a party place. I don't think it's any open.
But a bit traumatised from, if you remember if you watched the big lap, you might remember Madura Pass, where we got there and couldn't really get dinner or anything.
It could be like this again.
But we are in a town here, so we kind of do have options.
Can't see a thing, Josh, it was something.
There's a Honda dealer. Honda mowers, not even cars.
How are cars parked?
You know.
And we can't see a thing.
I remember the first time I tried to go to this charger, Google Maps took me to the shops we just drove past when the charger's out the back of the shops, and I'm like, there's no charger, I can't possibly get to it. And I finally found it around the back. This time Google Maps is spot on, it's taken me into the back street to find it. But I didn't really need it this time. I had a reasonable idea where it is. And it's another EV charger. Last time I used this, that was before EV auto charge was a thing. Oh, there's toilets here now. There was also not toilets here last time I used this. I had to walk like way down the street. So things are improving. But the charger seems exactly the same. It just presumably has a software update that means I won't have to tap my card. And we have 53%, so really just topping up ready for tomorrow. these bollards kind of in the way. Here we go.
I think that's coming from the hotel.
Yeah, quite hungry now. That's a promising sound. Car's not looking too bad after our off-road adventure. There's a bit of dirt in the wheel wells and on the sides. The back's not too bad at all. But we should head off.
Sort of the car was sort of turning inside itself, sort of. It would have been, yes.
So I actually remembered, because my car is an NMC battery, not LFP, it's not very good for it to be left overnight above about 80%. So I set an 80% charge limit, and it's just finished charging now. And after 10 minutes of not charging, I'll be charging an extra $1 a minute to be plugged into the charger. So our dinner's actually just arrived in the pub, but we're done. It's fairly hot, so I've just run out here and I'll put that back. And I'll run back in. I should move the car, just not to be rude. Oh! That's still running. But anyway, we have had dinner in the pub. Oh, cat!
Oh, it's him.
Had dinner in a pub, so that worked out very well actually. A lot better than some nights have worked out.
Yeah.
And we've charged the car to exactly 80%. We could have probably gone to almost 100 with how long we were there, but it would have been fine. But since we're just driving like 3 minutes down the road to the motel, I don't really want to leave the car on 100% all night. A lot of newer cars have LFP batteries, so they're perfectly fine to do that. There's pictures going on, are there?
What's going on here?
Oh,
They're the women that were at the pub.
Yes, and they're taking pictures of the sunset. LFP cars are perfectly fine with it. This is an NMC battery, which nothing bad would have really happened, but it's just not great for the battery. So I've only charged it to 80%, and we don't really need all that much power tomorrow. We've got 331 kilometres estimated now of range, and it's 139 to Jindabyne, where I think the next charger is, and we definitely want to stop there by then anyway for a bit. So, and it's not really that far to Canberra. Yeah, so we wouldn't really have benefited from having an extra 20% charge, and it's sort of better for the battery to not have had that. So I just ran out and unplugged the car and moved it. And at dinner we also booked accommodation in Canberra with overnight charging, which will be very good. Much more expensive than this place, but that was to be expected. Anyway, we will see you in the morning tomorrow.
What do we do with the key?
The keys down here. Tomorrow, and we will end up in Canberra eventually, but we have a lot more scenic driving through some windy mountains in the morning to get there.